specializing in the restoration of the muscular system to help you move and feel better, combating TBI, PTSD, and pain through specialized strength training. Again, get your body right, get your mind right, defeat the demons.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, Joe, and Buddy. Today's special guests are Spanky and Ice, two warriors who secretly wish they had stayed in to be sergeant majors.
Welcome to episode 38 of the Trash Talk Hour. Shout out to our sponsors, Ventura Training and Athletics, Cardinal Financial, and of course, 10th Mountain Whiskey. Type in VTT, get yourself a discount. Our special guests today are Spanky and Ice from WTF Radio Nation. We appreciate you coming on. And two of our hosts are not with us today. So Joe is out getting after the mission. And Buddy, after thousands of swipes on Tinder, finally matched with somebody. So we're proud of you, Buddy. Get after it and good luck. Today, I'm here with Nick and the Mad Russian Bill. Over to you, Bill.
Hey, good morning, all trash talkers and Gruntworks Nation. Today, I'm going to go on a little rant. Go off of something I saw Nick post earlier from the Book of Earl. You know, I actually agree with you this time. Normally, I don't.
Oh, shit.
Well, because you're you, so I have to go against you. But it was talking about paying attention to everybody else and thinking this happens especially in the Army at our levels. The higher you get up is the best way to get success and get further in the world is to tear down everyone else around you. It's even worse in the veteran business community. Now, why are you promoting this guy's coffee? You should promote my coffee. If you look at Veteran Trash Talk, every day I'm promoting Gruntworks Coffee, Straight Shooter Coffee, Kyle Early and Barrage Coffee. Stop thinking you have to cut down everybody else for your own success, especially you military members. What I like to tell everybody all the time is stop worrying about everybody else and just try to be better than yesterday. If you just try to be better a little bit than you were yesterday, you will succeed and you will get ahead. Don't be that douche that thinks you have to throw everybody else under the rope, the train, the bus. They get run over by them. Except for Nick. Throw Nick under any bus you can.
I can handle it.
Fine. You can handle it.
You can collect insurance money and give it to Joe to get better internet no matter where he's at. His internet sucks. Somehow Buddy can be traveling at all times like a hobo and still has better service than Joe does.
Well, he's special forces. He's got some type of communication.
He's an SF combo package. But hey, again, veteran community, support all veteran-owned businesses, no matter what their political view is. We've said it 100 times. That bullshit with Black Rifle Coffee, off of them donating money on a bet anyway, and everybody wanted to bash them down because they thought they might have voted a certain way or that. Stop being a trigger pansy. Plain and simple. Only person you're allowed to tear down is Nick. That's all I got.
All right, Bill.
Bill was a replacement for the otherwise very entertaining Buddy Beckwith. So he didn't do the job Buddy does, but he did a job. We'll just give it to him that way. He's much better on his UFC pick'em. So that's what we pay him for in booze, which I don't think we've even sent you booze yet. So you're kind of still working for free.
Shit, you cheapskates.
Well, anyways, Dave was supposed to start off with some fire and, because he got triggered yesterday pretty bad. And he didn't start off with fire because he doesn't like to send it, and he's getting better. We're trying to, grow him into, hey, man, just say it. Just do it. All right. So he finally did a video on TikTok.
Only fishers are good at sending it. That's why.
Yeah.
He finally did a video on TikTok, and we're all, above the age of like 35, right? And it's like, we're on TikTok acting like clowns because we don't know what the hell we're doing on it. Okay.
It's fun.
But anyways, so I was like, just do it, Dave. Do a TikTok video with the damn button. All right. This button's your baby. Just do it. All right. And so he finally gets on there. He's in his first sergeant uniform and he's like, hey, you have every one of these days. And he presses the button. Okay. Well, our store has went up about 450% since he did that. All right. And, you know, I'm not the I told you so guy. I just said, good job, Dave. You know, wasn't like, hey, we have him on a team for a reason. He's got a pretty face, and that's about it. All right. We got Bill on the team for a reason because he studies UFC. He's a sergeant major. He's got some clout that way. And so, like, we got him on there for UFC. However, of course, like Bill just talked about, the Book of Earl the other week, you know, that's me speaking like The Rock. The Book of Earl says, you know, stop wasting your time and energy, you know, hoping others fail, because that's just going to make you average or below average. Or if that's what you're concerned about, as opposed to building other people up. So I know the WTF guys know this better than anybody because they have a huge page and following, and people get so damn triggered. You know, and people are commenting on that video, like calling Big Sarge out, calling Big First Sergeant out, like, oh, hey, nice plug-in. You know, is this what you should be doing as a first sergeant? You know, and it's like, well, Dave was supposed to explain our mission in the intro. He didn't listen to the script, but we are here to combat veteran suicide. Okay? It's that simple. It's that simple what our mission is. Okay, and this podcast that I started, and then Joe and I started the UFC one, and it's my own therapy, right? So like I said again, they canceled all my behavioral health, they canceled all of my pain management, and I'm still active duty. They canceled it all, like when COVID first hit. So it's like I got my boys on Zoom and we started talking shit to each other, you know. And I was like, hey, why don't we just record this? You know, it's pretty solid. And I know, why don't we bring on some veteran businesses or veterans doing great things and promote their shit for free? Like, yeah, let's build them up. And then we were like, well, shit, there's a ton of females that like our page. I didn't think about that. Like, none of us thought about that. And, you know, we created a safe space for them, right? Which is sad that you have to say that. All right. But we created a space where they could come on and not have to worry about politics or sexual posts. I know Facebook still took our page down, but we didn't allow it, right? Because it didn't fit our mission. There's plenty of pages like Gruntworks where you can go on and talk political if you want. But on VTT, we don't care. We don't care who you like. We don't care who the president is, right? It doesn't matter. And if you're going to start saying stupid shit about women or stupid shit about a race, all right, you're gone. It was that simple. So what caught us by surprise was, you know, man, there's like I said, a huge female veteran like participation on our page. Did not expect it, especially when it's run by a bunch of 11 Bravos, an SF guy, and a cannon cocker like Bill, right? It's like we don't like. What are they doing here at first, right? But of course, they're veterans, you know. And then
Ever cocked a cannon?
Yeah,
SOB.
You did. You have a red flag behind you. That's what you are. Anyways, so then, you know, the light bulb goes off, and I got this from actually one of the WTF Nation Radio posts, and this is kind of go into my Book of Earl, which again, I started this podcast because nobody listens to me, so I bring on a good-looking guy and some good guests, and then people have to listen to me. So it's kind of like my own thing that I got going on.
One team, one fight, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, we bring on WTF Nation Radio. Maybe I get another 100 people listening to me. I don't know, possibly. The MST, right? Everybody wants to tag the Sergeant Major of the Army. Everybody wants to hashtag the report. Okay. Everybody wants to do all that shit on Twitter. And so I'm sure Spanky remembers this. I saw a woman say something and hashtagged everybody, right? And added the Sergeant Major of the Army. So I commented on there and said, you know, what are you going to do about it? You know, and I kind of was like, and then you can't say calm down, right? Because if you tell a woman to calm down, even though I'm not treating them like a woman, I'm treating them like a leader. And it's like, let's calm down and do something about this, right? And all the haterade that came in on me on that thread, you know, and it was like, so then I just lied. I said, actually, I'm a girl. Because it's got the VTT logo, right? And as soon as I said that, right, it was like, oh, okay, from that perspective, it makes sense. Oh, does it? Does it now? All right. But anyways, we want to empower everybody. It doesn't matter what race, sex, religion, it doesn't matter. So now we brought on Leah, who does and she was on your guys' show, right? And Leah is a phenomenal warrior and a leader. And the first two guests she's had on, right, are phenomenal leaders. One's a lieutenant colonel promotable. The other one got out as like a major. They're, tremendous women that are very successful. And yeah, in today's society, do we have to still differentiate between male and female? Yeah, unfortunately we do. Right. And I think it's important that, we put female entrepreneurs on. We bring females on that have suffered through MST and are brave enough to talk about it, because there's somebody listening out there that it's going to save their life. And we know from experience that we have saved lives already with VTT. All right. And we know that for a fact. We have had spouses call us. All right. We've had, significant others call us and say, thank you. Right. Because my husband or my girlfriend or whatever was, going down the wrong path. And now she loves your page. All right. And she goes on there. So we didn't build it for us. I built this podcast for us because this is our therapy. But the page is simply the camaraderie that some people didn't get in the military because they were fucking raped. Right. Or they were, treated like shit. And so we're going to show you the other side. All right. We're going to show you the camaraderie side that you were supposed to have while you were there, the support that you were supposed to have. Anyways, that was what Dave was kind of supposed to say in his intro.
You did it so much better, Nick. I
haven't even got into the Book of Earl yet, but it'll be a good lead-in. But that's exactly what Dave is doing. Is exactly what a fucking first sergeant should be doing right now. Okay, instead of all you keyboard warriors that hashtag and at the sergeant major of the Army, all right, Dave put his skin in the game while still active duty. Okay, that's exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And that's exactly what I was supposed to be doing. I have the greatest job in the world. I'm a master sergeant, so I have zero responsibility and get a good paycheck. All right. So it's like, I'm going to do something to help. And you know what? I might piss some people off, but you know what? If I can help one person, then, go fuck your triggered ass. I really don't care. All right. I'm sorry you don't agree with me sometimes. All right. I know Bill agrees with me most of the time. He was lying. I actually, I think I wrote half of his papers for him at the academy, but we won't get into that.
I'd still be at the academy if that happened.
But again, so let's get into the Book of Earl. Like I said, I like to rant a little bit, go on, and I want people to disagree with me. I want people to ask questions. If you're on Gruntworks or YouTube, I'm monitoring YouTube. So we got Corinne on here says, so beneath you, then it itself is how we were taught hidden racism, but then again, I'm blacker than him. Okay, I didn't see what she's responding to, so I'm guessing that was a different comment, but it's not on my thread. So comment on Gruntworks, say hi, where you're from, comment on YouTube. All right, we'll get to it.
Tanner Porter's watching.
Yeah, and Tanner Port's watching, and I've been living rent-free in his head for the last couple of days, and that's been fun. So what I wanted to talk about is I think I've labeled a culture by the ages, I think 16 to 50. All right, if you're in that age group, okay, I've labeled you the panic/doomsday culture. All right, and I just came up with that last night because every fucking thing that happens is an absolute crisis to you people. All right, we automatically go ape shit because media is so fast. All right, media is so fast that we 100% lose all logic because harness your inner MRT training, your resilience to where your action, thought, consequence, okay, like activating event, thought, consequence, like, is you being real pissed off about this doing anything? Maybe it is. Then keep going. But if you being pissed off stops your progress or stops people from being informed properly, then maybe you chill out for a little fucking bit. All right, find out what's going on. So I like to give the history lessons. All right, and I'm going to bring up the bell curve again. All right, so I'm not going to draw it because Perry said the podcast people can't see me drawing it. Right, so if you're on the left or right side of the bell curve, you've shut off learning. All right, you've shut off growth. All right, you're on the far left or you're on the far right of an issue, and therefore you were not listening to anybody else. So don't really care what you have to say. I'm going to listen to it because I listen to everybody, but once you fail and I can pick up that you're just on one side of the spectrum, I don't really give a shit what you think about it anymore. Now, there are certain values, and that's where you really have to look deep inside. All right, do you have a value in something? All right. I think MRT calls that sometimes an iceberg, right? Is that something that no matter what said about it, that's yours. Okay. Now there's certain values that the majority of us agree on. All right. And that's the majority of the world, not even just America. All right. But like rape. All right. If you want to somehow try to justify that to me, okay, go fucking somewhere else. Okay. That's a value that I'm not going to bend on. I'm not going to listen to, not going to hear you. All right. But so we'll do some history about when media was so fast and when media played a role. All right. So we'll go back to World War I. Okay. One of the greatest espionage things that ever happened was the British cut all the German lines to the United States. All right. So the only intel that people were getting was on the British side. All right. So that was able to get some people scooped up into a frenzy, right? Not at a big enough level as today, but that's when it kind of started. And I also wanted to talk about actual leaders. And you look at the Vietnam War, and I'm going to crush the panic doomsday culture here. Go study the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Okay. That's decades of horrendous shit happening. Actual doomsday scenarios. All right. You had Khrushchev slamming his fucking shoe at the UN saying, I will nuke all of you. Right. I will make this asphalt. Like that's what he was yelling. All right. At the UN. Could you imagine that shit today? All right. We had a president get assassinated. His brother, Attorney General, got assassinated. All right. We had Martin Luther King. He was assassinated. I'm going to get into the MLK in a little bit. All right. But those were serious, serious things. We had an actual recession where there was no more gas in the damn country. All right. We had those things that these people were living through, right, and going through. But the media started to get powerful. All right. And the government saw a way to control that. And that was through Vietnam. Okay, Vietnam, you would lose your press pass if you didn't report exactly what they told you to report. And because media was a for-profit companies, all right, they had to be in Vietnam. So then we go back. I've covered this in one podcast, but the Tet Offensive. Why was it such a big victory for the North Vietnamese? Because they got the shit kicked out of them, actually. But Westmoreland literally came back and said that we're winning in Vietnam. Everything's under control there. And the press was reporting it. Then all of a sudden, every single base, United States base, gets attacked. Well, kind of tough to hide that one now, right? So the Vietnamese lost a shit ton of people, but they won a political battle. And then you got a leader. I'm going to call John Kerry a leader because at the time, right, like he wasn't a politician. So he goes there and he organizes that march and they throw their medals on, up at Washington, and they start talking about some horrendous things that are going on in Vietnam because the press wasn't covering it. Right. So now you saw the power of the media, and you saw what happens when the people actually rose up and started doing something. So I'm not taking a side of who was right or wrong, but that was John Kerry being a leader. All right. And then I posted something on Facebook to get a little argument going because Martin Luther King was a leader. All right. If you want to look up real leaders, because I can't stand when you call politicians leaders, but Martin Luther King was a leader. All right. He was very influential. And guess who he studied? All right. He studied Gandhi. All right. Gandhi was a leader. When the Eisenhower Doctrine took over and there was no more colonialism anywhere except for Vietnam because we needed France to be strong again, but we'll get into that later some other time. Gandhi, said, hey, we have to, be able to talk. We have to be able to be educated. We have to be able to voice our concerns and be democratic because that is the light that will be given to us. So that's why India, even though it still has a bunch of poor people and everybody's got corrupt shit going on, but they were very, very fast. They were able to kind of pick up democracy. All right. Well, other countries, their only conflict resolution was war. All right. So they're still trying to figure out, how do I supposed to be nice to my neighbor? Right. I don't know, maybe talk to him, maybe find out. But anyways, everybody needs to chill out. and try to educate themselves. Martin Luther King, in my opinion, all right, and I said I'll get the conspiracy theorists going. Dave loves it. Martin Luther King was assassinated, in my opinion, because for the first time publicly, he spoke out against the Vietnam War.
I feel like I'm being assassinated by this long ass rant of yours.
Right, yeah. Well, this is what happens, Bill. You're not used to coming on the show. So the long ass rant is because Dave didn't do his intro.
Blame it on somebody else. Let's go, Nick.
Yeah. Well, it was in the script, Dave, that you didn't read because you said you didn't get it, even though I emailed your drunk ass last night.
And I volunteer to be waterboarded instead.
Yes.
The Trash Talk Hour begins.
So what you can learn from that is, like, he said that, hey, the African Americans are actually the largest percentage drafted per capita, and they're the largest percentage actually volunteering. So he spoke out against that. All right. So what do you do? What do you do if you're in power and there's a leader below you that has a lot of influence? All right. You either buy them and bring them onto your team, or you destroy them. Okay. That's what the government does to people. All right. If you're influential, they're either going to buy you and make you a politician, or they're going to find any fucking way they can to destroy you, because you're going against what they're trying to sell. So everybody's got it. It's smart. It's Black History Month. All right. Martin Luther King was one of the greatest leaders of all time. And he was an American, and he was, he was very influential, whether you agreed with him or not. Okay. So a couple more things so I don't bore Bill out too much. We'll get into it a little bit because this is kind of leading into the guests that we have, the Marine Corps thing that's hot right now. And this this warrior's call for help. Right. And again, this is where your rage of your keyboard warrior stuff might not be what she's actually looking for. Okay. So think about it before you get stupid. All right. And then when you call out the DOD and you call out the Marine Corps, right? Again, I'm not going to sit here and stand by and let you say that the Army is extremist. I'm not going to let you say that the Army agrees with rape. Okay. No, the strategic level leaders way up at top, all right? You don't put them in a corner to make a fucking decision like that, because that's not what they're paid to do. Okay. They're paid to be strategic out. Sometimes their decisiveness, that decisive action might take 5 years to come to fruition. All right. They've already written the policies. They've already done the memos that say, we don't like this. All right. It's the junior level leaders. And in this case, this commanding general that did this stupid fucking thing, right? We can judge those people kind of quick, because most of it's there. But understand, and I used to do this as a first sergeant, I would try to empower my younger leaders going, hey, handle it the right way. Because when it comes on my desk, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it the 100% right way. But now the ass pain's coming, right? Like, everything's coming down on you now, like, because we're going to do it the right way you should have did it. And so again, sometimes it might take 10 minutes to an hour to do it the right way, but that quick little 30-second fix that you think you handled it and you didn't do it the right way, well, it might come back to really bite you in the ass. All right. Or something that so again, the big boys are in play now. All right. They're tracking it, but they're strategic level leaders. So think about it. Their schedule is crazy. So all of a sudden this comes around their desk and they're like, we've all been leaders in the military. We're like, what the fuck is this? Because their day was completely doing something else. But now they're involved. NCIS is involved. Like, now it's coming. Okay. And now we can judge the Marine Corps based off of how they handle the situation. But calling them out immediately, that's not the way that works. Okay. Let's see if they can come down and do some actual freaking work and actually do what they're supposed to do now. The failure wasn't the Marine Corps. All right. The failure was that stupid ass general. All right. That did that. Okay. And who knows, when the investigation comes out, maybe he was 100% misled. You never know. Okay. But we're going to find out what happened. That's the beauty of media. Okay. The beauty of how fast it is we're going to fucking find out now. All right. Now we just got to hope that somebody holds somebody accountable. All right. And that's the lead in, because Bill, it's an hour long. So I was hoping that Dave would eat up some time so that I had to take it for him. But I can't stand the keyboard warriors that say these quotes, right? This is why retention is low. All right. This is why suicide is up. Okay. You guys are morons when you say that kind of shit. All right. It's an entire system. There's lots of things that contribute to it. Lots of them. All right. And that's what our community at VTT is about. You might say something that 60% of the people don't like. Who gives a shit? All right. There's 40% of those people in that group that kind of like what you're saying. Maybe make a new friend. All right. Somebody you can go to when you're not feeling well. All right. Like, that's what it's for. Get on the community, talk to each other. So again, and I'm going to give a plug to the drill sergeants. Can't blame the military all the time. It's society. All right. There's people that believe pedophilia is a sexual orientation, right? Guess what? They're raising kids. One of those kids might come in the army. All right. Now we expect a drill sergeant to take out all of what cultural norms, right? Like a woman shouldn't wear that. That's a cultural norm. Right. And so like, oh, she got raped because she went to the wrong alley. That's a cultural norm. It takes a drill sergeant, then a freaking 20-year-old E4 corporal to an E5 that's squared away, that's trying to say, no, that's not how we fucking think here. That's not how we do it here. So with that, welcome WTF Nation Radio hosts.
Save us. Save us all.
Save us. Buddy usually talks for a little bit longer than Bill did. Right. So that's the Book of Earl. That's what, welcome to it. It's like the Bible, so you should listen to it. But, WTF, a lot of people hate on them. I'm sure they'll talk about that maybe a little bit. But, they're there they do a lot of great things. All right. People come on there and present problems, and they can get to the bottom of it a lot faster than some people can. All right. So they do tremendous work, and it's a pleasure having them on. So Ice, Spanky, introduce yourselves. Tell us what you do, and let's have some fun.
Welcome.
Hey, well, go ahead. Go ahead, Spanky. Go ahead.
All right. I'm Spanky. My name is actually Leanne. It's not a secret. I do all the radio stuff. I only do the WTF Nation Radio side of the house. I am basically like the ops sergeant major if we're doing it on like a military thing. I just make sure all the cats are herded, all the guests know where they need to go. Me and Mom is what she is called on the radio. We do all of the booking for the guests. I do whatever Ice tells me to, because I'm his little door gunner type person. And other than that, like I said, I came here because I started listening to WTF Nation Radio about 4 years ago, right when I was about to retire. And I just loved what they do. I wanted to be a part of something, but it wasn't about money or anything like that. I just wanted to be a part of something in the veteran community when I transferred from active duty to being a veteran. That's how I wound up here. Ace.
Oh, okay. What's your background? You forgot to talk about the background. Are we supposed to be talking about background? Because they're gonna call us.
What'd you do?
Yeah.
I can talk more if you want, but Bill's already daydreaming.
Hurry up, fucking talk. Come on, this guy needs to wrap it up.
Free. You're gonna laugh because you guys saw me when we first came on, and then you're trying to figure this out. My first MOS was a 25 Bravo. Yes, I was signaled, and I was supposed to know how to do all this stuff. I did not. I
reclass
a little bit and lost my security clearance, so I had to switch MOSs. I switched to a 42 Alpha. They decided to retain me, and I was a 42 Alpha. I then got pregnant in November of 2003, November 21st, 2003. I know the exact date. So I had a break in service. We were pretty busy in 2003, and being a mom and being in the military was not going to work. I came back in. They wouldn't let me have either of my MOSs. So I was chemical the last 10 years I was in. I did a lot of USR and S3 time.
I was just going to say, so basically you're the USR person.
Yes, I was the USR person.
A thankless job.
I hate it. I
And
did
you
it.
retired as Sergeant First Class? What'd you retire?
Yes, I retired as a Sergeant First Class. I'm not even going to lie. I'll be the one to admit it. I was surprised they made it. because I'd already gotten hurt and I was on a permanent profile when I made Sergeant First Class. So yes, they liked the rest of my record, so they still promoted me. And yeah, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to go much further than there.
What was your favorite duty station?
Hood. I'm still here. I retired in the clean area. It sucks this week, but overall I like it. It's cheap to live here. The schools are good. I won't say they're the best schools in the nation, but they're good. So I'm going to be here at least another 2 years until my kid graduates from high school.
Nice. And let's not say cheap. It's less expensive. We don't want to call you cheap.
All right, now it's pretty cheap. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely cheap.
But yeah, I know when we transition to Ice here. So again, we make fun of you in the intro song. You guys might have heard it. I don't know. I didn't get your bio specifically, so it wasn't as funny as I wanted it to be, which is rare. But I was like, here's some WTF people who wish they would have stayed in long enough to be sergeant majors, and they feel bad that they didn't. So now they're trying to change things from the outside. So
Glad that didn't work out too well. Yeah.
It didn't work out, damn it. What do you got, Ice? Where are you coming from?
It's okay because I retired as a sergeant major.
Okay. Exactly.
Let's see. So where do we start? I've been in. Let's see. My I guess you would say my basic entry service date, the day I signed the contract, was in December of 1989. It was in the reserves. It was in the guards. So I was like, let me hang out to see what's up with this. And then I was an aviation operations specialist. And I did that for a little bit. And I was like, man, I'm going to go active duty. So went active duty. And then I was realizing, hey, you know what? This MOS sucks. I need to get out of it because it sucks. I'm watching helicopters flying around. I'm watching all the aviation stuff happening, and I'm like, I don't want to just like watch the helicopters, and I don't want to be flying. And I could, but the glasses thing, you can't do it. So let's fast forward up to a little bit 1997, 1998, and I saw some dudes running around with these funky loudspeakers on their back, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And they're like, oh, we're PSYOP. And I'm like, PSYOP? What's this? What's in that back? That ruck. And they're like, like I said, I'm an aviation guy, so I'm like, what's a backpack? What's in that backpack? I wasn't saying ruck. I wasn't talking tactical and shit. And they were like, oh, that's a loudspeaker system. And I'm thinking, yeah, what? The loudspeaker system? Bullshit. Come on. And then they open it up and there was a loudspeaker. I'm going to go play some Metallica. And they're like, no. I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. So you guys just play loudspeakers and shit? And they're like, no, we'll also do some other stuff. And there's some, this is just the tactical side of the house. There's also another side of it, where you work in embassies or you work at a theater support special operations command. You do a lot of stuff. I'm like, so I was already hooked at the loudspeakers. I was just, the fact that you could just blare loudspeakers on the battlefield with the world's most powerful fucking stereo. And I was thinking, damn, well, sign me up. So yeah, sent some packets and stuff like that to brag. And I went to the course. However, there was an issue. I had to be jump qualified. So in this January of 2001, I made my first airborne exit out of a high performance aircraft.
Airborne
at 30 years old. So here was a bunch of knobby head little privates looking at me like, you're old, man. And I'm like, well, long story short. So then I of course went to SWCC, JFK Special Warfare Center at school. Now it's called the SOF Center of Excellence. And that's where I started the career. Yeah, exactly that. I was licensed to ride a horse. That's how old I am. And even the old guys were going, damn, rocks were hating on my age. That's how bad it was. But anyways, so I did the course, and then September 11th hit, and from there it was just it was just nonstop. I was assigned to the group for a little bit, and then I went down to the 9th Side Battalion, where I deployed to Iraq, and then I came back, and then I went to the 1st Armored Division. I deployed to Iraq again. And then after that, I kind of disappeared in the soft world and went to the other portion of the PSYOP regiment that the guy sold me on. That the guy was like, yeah, you get to work in embassies and you get to work with other special operations units. And I got to do that for a little bit. Deployed to Africa. I spent probably collectively about 2 years in Africa. I don't know. I got to look at my DD-214 or something like that before someone accuses me of stolen valor or some shit. And Because nowadays, like you were saying, vets beating each other up. You say, hey, I was deployed to the Balkans. When were you deployed to the Balkans?
That was
you get fucking shot at.
What year? What month?
You're probably a cook.
You were probably Booker Bro. And I always say that now. I'm just like, I didn't do anything. I was just a cook. I kind of pogue my. You're noticing that now. Their veterans are now trending to pogue themselves, so that way they don't get any fucking drama. Because then it seems like everyone tries to outdo each other when it comes to that type of lifestyle. Hey, I'm not going to hit on you because you eat crayons and you were a Marine. I'm not going to hit on you because you were, just chilling, doing your nails as a dude in the Air Force. I don't care. But my point being is that you bring up a good point. It was a learning experience. And then let's see, I'm trying to go back a couple more years because I'm old. I had a couple of airborne mishaps. One of them was a pretty good one. Lost feeling in my body on some portions of my body, and then
nice.
The coup de grace was the airborne accident that I had that broke both my legs, and so. However, I didn't know I broke my legs because of the nerve damage and yada yada. Again, it's the medical stuff, and then they're like, "Oh wow, cool. Hey, you got to get out because you're."
So it was like that Men in Black where it's like, "Hey Edgar, your skin's hanging off your bones." Like you're trying to walk back. You're trying to walk back to the drop zone, and your legs like sideways. You're like, "Oh, exactly."
Yeah, exactly. And I'm even doing the funny walk. Oh, I broke my leg. I forgot to do a PLF.
Yeah. So people don't know this, but Dave had an airborne mishap that screenshot my career.
Man. Yeah,
we've talked about that. So I took his job when he didn't know how to jump out of an airplane. And but
so
then
I'll say once they hem me up, they say, "Hey, you're good to go." Then they said, "No, now you can't stay because now you're so beat the fuck up."
How many years did you serve, Ice?
Altogether, I was just shy of 29 years, 28 days, 364 days. Because
nice.
I got out on Christmas.
Nice.
Christmas of,
I know you want to hear this from us, but thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you, Ice.
So we got a question from
thank
YouTube.
You, of course. Thank you as well.
we got a question from YouTube from Fred Brown. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yep, I know he is.
Fred Brown says, "How hard is it to run a virtual radio station?"
It is hard. It is really hard because it's virtual. Anytime we do interviews, everyone thinks, "Oh, so we're building you located at," because the way we have it set up, it makes it seem like we're either in Texas or DC or in Colorado. And I'm like, no, those are just kind of like jokes that we had because some of the, people were accusing us and rumors of being in those locations. So we kind of made it part of our logo to joke around saying we were at the Alamo, Pentagon, and Area 51. And it's a lot of work. A lot of it's coordinating. A lot of it is not a. Here I thought, hey, I'm a psyop dude. I do social media exploitation. I do all that social media stuff. Where it's my job to troll the bad guys, to make them fuck up and do some things that they would normally not do until you piss them off. You'd be surprised how many memes you could drop on a bad guy and they reveal themselves because they're angry and their skin is a little bit more thinner than you thought. It's not like that with this is a whole new dynamic running WTF Nation Radio. I'm the station manager and I've only been in, I don't know, maybe in the gig for I'm not even a broadcaster. I don't know how to do this shit. I mean, someone said, "Hey, you want to do this? You want to do that?" I've had PAO buddies. I have a PAO friend of mine. I have a couple PAO friends. I said, "Hey, how do you do this?" And they're like, "Well, why do you want to know?" And I'm like, "Well, because I'm just doing stuff." Well, how do I do this? Well, why do you want to know? And then, of course, the originals of WTF Nation Radio mentored me along the way. I was going to
ask you that, Ice. Let me cut you off. How long have you been with? I mean, have you just done the radio portion, or are you part of the page as well? When it first started, because WTF has been around since what, 2009, 10?
It just hit its 10-year anniversary. U.S. Army WTF Moments just hit its 10-year anniversary, and then WTF Nation Radio is about ready to hit its 5-year anniversary. Okay. And so it's I started off, and the joke is everyone thinks that it was a bunch of E4s and stuff like that, but it was really just a group of.
A lot of rumors about sergeant majors and.
Well,
yeah, look at you.
yeah. And that's the thing. They're there. You know what I mean? They are there. may have started off at a junior rank, but like I said, the page itself, WTF Moments, has been there for a while. And then I was just listening into WTF Nation Radio like Spanky was.
Nice.
And then one of the admins that was in the station as well said, "Hey, you wanna try it out? You wanna do this?" I'm like, "Ooh, okay, all right, whatever." And they're like, "Okay, you got to blab for about a couple hours, and this is the way we do the show." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I guess I can blab." And then things being that they may, people move on, people get out of the gig and all that. Then the next thing you know, I was running the damn thing. So I've only been an actual admin with WTF Moments for not even about a year, 2 years before I took over WTF Nation Radio. So I get to kind of be like the L&O or the digital outreach director to kind of like get the gigs together and all that. But yeah, I've
been following WTF for a long time, and I love how Nick mentioned it earlier. Brought a lot of shit to light. A lot of situations in the Army, and can you maybe talk about some of them that really got some people, because you guys got some people hemmed up for good reasons, because they jacked up. I'm not just talking at the first sergeant level, but like
Kaz said, Kaz is on the thread on YouTube, and Kaz is like, yeah, media's first, doesn't have to be right, and
exactly.
Like I said, that's the good thing about media. Like I mentioned in my 7-hour Book of Earl, is the beautiful thing about it is everybody can like be aware instantly, and then we take a breath.
So the Army's changed policy on it. The Army has said, hey, you are this is different. Here we have a Facebook page and Facebook pages, not WTF Moments, and they're dropping shit that we know about, that we're tracking. And how do we do this? At first, again, when the page first came out, it was just a bunch of, hey, this looks like this is this is kind of a big deal, a couple psyopers, blah, 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 knocking it out, posting names, dropping names. Jose made his debut and was like seriously dropping, some bombs, to where everyone's like, yeah, this is growing. And then like I said, I came in 5 years later, and the next, the page is getting larger and larger. Units are now tracking, and they're looking at the chats. When we post something, we have watchers in there. They look, and the next thing you know, they're like, hey, they hit us in the inbox. Hey, what's the status of this post? Or how come this post happened? Or do you know what's the story behind this? And that's one thing about the WTF Nation inbox, is that there's a policy that it's nothing, no one is going to know. If you were to send something to me right now, even as we're chatting, I am obligated to not, it's our WTF non-attribution policy. Mm-hmm. You're not going to fucking get ratted out. You're not going to get told what happened. All the DMs and PMs are secured, because a lot of the big stuff that has happened in the Army, without some of the bigger cases that toxic leadership or missing soldiers, bolos, call for assistances for veterans, a call for attendance for a funeral for a veteran that's not been claimed by their family. We've done that, and so it's kind of like we get the word, and then we use the medium to spread it out. I never thought after all the memes and before, when Facebook really started clamping down, all the tit pics and all that, and the ass clownery that was happening on Facebook, I never would have thought that we just had the USAREC Sergeant Major last week coming on. I'm thinking we kind of used to make fun of him. It's like it's wow. It's one of those things that information comes in, they look at it, and now people are not saying, oh, that's fake. We've outgrown the Army Times. We're bigger. The page is bigger than the Army Times.
No big deal, right? No big deal.
Yeah. Newspaper's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Print is dead. No, but it's one of those things. Someone asked me if I had a veteran in duress contact you. Yes, we have. Shit. You know what? Let me grab some numbers of some of the pages that we did. Some of the when I say pages, because we cover a lot of pages already. U.S. Army WTF Moments has WTF Moments memes, WTF Moments videos. Fucking the Space Force. The Space Force has WTF Moments that are it's like Space Force people, like legit Space Force people run the page. I don't get their jokes because they all speak in ones and zeros.
I don't understand that language. Yeah.
They nerd the fuck out. And they're like, did you see this right here? And I'm like,
yeah.
I had my first one yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, okay. And then they, Spock, Hail Hydra, or whatever.
Did you just flip me off, or is that a compliment?
Exactly. Is that a salute?
So when it comes to your guests, real quick, Ice, like, do you guys hit them up? For instance, the U6R Major, did he just hit you guys up and say, hey, I want to come on the show?
It's touch and go.
Yeah.
It's touch and go. A lot of it is a unit will see us and they'll say, hey, we saw you. Yeah, let's book something. Okay, cool. And other times it'll be us glancing at social media, and then we're like, oh shit. Yeah, hey, let's contact with these guys. And then I'll say, hey, Spanky, hey, Mom, go look. And then okay, yes, whatever. I don't like that guy, or what? I'm just kidding. We don't say that, but they're like, who is this guy? Who is he? And we give them back brief, and then that's it. To answer the question in the audience about do we help out, I'll just give you some numbers right quick. Last year for 2020, we had 57 COVID updates on promotions, PCSs, TDYs, and schools, and we were disseminating a lot of information from the COVID policies that were coming out that the Army was kind of slow to do it. We had 83 fundraisers that did like $256,000 worth of monies that go straight to them.
Wow!
So, to include the those medical helmets for babies when they have malformed skulls and stuff. Yep. 14 bolos for missing people or equipment that resulted in 6 recoveries. The battles in distress, we stopped counting at about 2,200 battles in distress. Because it just and all of them were actionable. All of them were, hey, I need some help. Hey, I need some support. Hey, I need somebody to do whatever. We had about 109 inbox messages just for anything, for submissions, for memes, for support, for guidance, or just somebody to talk. Hell, we'll even have a commander that says, hey, we have Zoltan, the individual who seems to know and predicts the promotions for the Army. Just for some reason, you'll see a list come out or hear about a list coming out. So we did about 6,500 posts and submissions and all that. Transgender policy, homosexual policies, toxic leadership updates, stuff like that. And then we've only had four Zuck bot, unless it's on the radio. On the radio, we get zucked all the time. I just mentioned that last night. That Cause will sit there and have a show for a flawless 2 hours with a guest and all that. I say the bad words, and the next thing you know, we get zucked. And the next you're like, hey, how come the feed went out, or how come what's going on? I'm thinking because Facebook doesn't like us.
You know that feeling.
Yeah, we know that feeling hard.
Yeah.
Like
has the page ever gone through anything like that? Like basically what happened to us, back in the day?
Ooh, yeah. I was on air when it happened, and there was some zuckage going on, and the next thing you know, everyone's like, even Spanky was like, I can't find the page, I don't know where it's at. I'm like,
yeah, I hit Spanky up when it happened. I'm like, this shit happened to us, like what the fuck?
Yeah, it was like
next.
Yeah, they were like, and then the next it came back up. I don't know, I don't run the tech side of the big side of the page, but I just do the radio shit, so it was pretty crazy.
I have it one more time, and that is why there's not an S after the US. Or there's not a period after the U.S.
Correct.
Because the very first WTF Nation page got completely zucked. And I believe they had to rebuild it. This was years ago. It was before my time on the radio. But yeah, that's why there's no period after the S.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sad.
I had to ask, like, why is there no period after the S?
That's been that's part of the WTF. That's the gimmick right there.
Right,
That's been the gimmick forever. And that's what they, that's what they put out.
Yeah. And it's actually really sad with the Zuckerberg laws and rules, not understanding veterans. I've said it on a show once, but I talked to a Spotify executive, and he was like, yeah, I wouldn't do anything till about February, March timeframe. He's like, the algorithms around veteran groups are so tight that they had to hire temp workers. And so if your case actually made it to somebody, it's somebody that doesn't, maybe reads at a 6th grade level and doesn't know what a veteran is, and they just shut your page down.
Or
and it's like,
yeah.
like I said, we had a post get taken down, and we got reported for somebody saying "Cheers, Devil Dogs" on the Marine Corps birthday. And it was like,
considered
it was bullying. That's how tight the algorithms were wound up.
Yeah.
And to go along with everyone's mission, who's again the squared away DOD, the squared away veterans that are here to support and do the things that we're trying to do, because it's my humble opinion, which is rarely humble, is we're the ones that are going to fix this problem, right? We're the ones that are going to fix the suicide problem. We're the ones that are going to fix, veteran homelessness. It's not going to be the government. It's not, and we're going to need civilian help. So that's kind of why we opened, civilians into our page as well, into our community, so that we have a couple of great ones that comment on everything and they ask questions. Like Bill posted something funny today, and there was one of our favorite civilian guests got on there and was like, what does that mean? Because yeah, and we'll tell you. But what would you say, kind of like Dave was kind of hitting at it, like what would you say, what would you need to do more, or what would you need WTF? What would they need to do more? Like, or are you guys like, I don't know if I'm asking the question right, but what would build you up? What would make you more powerful to be able to do what we all want to do?
Another Death Star? No, just kidding. I think what it is that our mission right now. It's veteran empowerment. Mm-hmm. The main page in the WTF, the station, to do the military engagement, to give out now that now that we're getting a little bit bigger, provide Army news and professional development, and then really the whole overarching objective is providing an outlet for entertainment, discussion, and self-care, and mental wellness. Self-care, some of the stuff is it I think hard for us to know the difference between true hazing over context of text as opposed to voice, which is why we like to push that's why I prefer that a lot of veterans speak about it, because you're only grabbing one portion of the specific audience that will understand what you mean at that leadership level. So for instance, if you're speaking at the Joe level, Joes are going to speak in ways that are going to cause people to clutch their pearls, and they're just Joes. I mean, they don't know. There's going to be a level mid-grade, company grade, more like, that they're going to speak a specific way, battalion and brigade and higher. And like you were talking about, the overarching strategic portion of it, and the DOD at the cabinet level. For us, we have to be consistent. So if everybody knows that I kind of don't like it when people say, well, the Army is becoming a social experiment. Well, when you kind of think about it, the Army already is a cross section of social, like norms, like you were talking about.
America.
Absolutely.
It's already a cross section. So there's going to be a social experiment, not really experiment, but there's going to be moving with the times, just like warfare. That's the way I see it. We don't use, maybe the Marines, but we don't use horse-drawn carriages anymore. Why? Because technology has built, we have tanks and all this other shit. HIMARS, artillery, what have you. So I see it kind of like that being a evolution when it comes to how we deal with, like you were just talking about earlier, sexual assault, sexual harassment, or how we deal with what's considered toxic or what's considered offensive. I don't even know what the hell's offensive anymore, just by me speaking. And English is not even my fucking first language. I didn't speak English till I was a little older, because the primary language in my house was Spanish. And so it's kind of hard for me I'm thinking in Spanish and I'll say something and everyone's like, oh my God, you can't say that. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to say? I mean, I don't know. Because people get dragged, like you were talking about Twitter. People will get dragged on context because they're literally asking a legitimate question because they don't know. And that they don't know portion is what we need to kind of wrap around with. We need to wrap around that we don't know. Well, what is it that we don't know? Well, there's certain, specific groups in society that you just don't say shit to because that's not where they're at. When I was coming up way back in the day, it would be offensive right now if I said this right now, but we used to say, them homeschool kids, them kids are those homeschool kids. And it's kind of like funny because now fucking all the kids are being homeschooled right
Everybody's
now.
homeschooled.
Everyone wants to shut the fuck up. So So right now it has to be that some kids that were not used to being around other groups. Well, it's because they were homeschooled and they don't know what they're, they don't know how to interact in society. There's individuals that you would speak with in society that would punch you in the fucking face because you weren't taught when you were a kid that you don't say that to specific groups, or your parents may have not known because of their embracing helicopter parent mentality. That's how you don't speak to women a specific way. That's why you don't speak to minorities a specific way. That's why you just, in the military, for us to be saying we're apolitical, then we need to be apolitical. We need to be apolitical in our language. We need to be apolitical in that. So if I'm going to say something, hey, go ahead. All right. I need you guys knock out. Just from me saying, hey, you guys need to knock out this. Well, you didn't say guys and gals, or you didn't say.
Hey, can you explain apolitical for the Gruntworks Nation that's watching? A lot of them don't know what that means.
Apolitical. Well, I mean, it's for instance, I always tell everybody who I'm worshiping, who I'm voting, and who I'm screwing is generally I keep to myself. Right. That's usually the reason why bedrooms, churches, and voting and polling booths have doors, because it's none of your business. It's nobody's business.
Oh, you got that, Marines? You got that, Marines that are listening? Okay, all right, got it.
So if you're going to sit there and say, well, you voted for Trump, or you voted for Biden, or you voted for Obama, or you voted for Clinton, or you voted for W, or you voted for Perot, why should it matter? I mean, who I voted for. If you want to walk around bragging about who you voted for to kind of like run with the times, that's not really what it's about. That's why the ballots are secret. That's why the ballots are not being told. It's kind of like, like I said, who you're screwing, who you're worshiping, and who you're voting for. There's a reason why there's doors on them. So
100%.
That's why we become so polarized, and that's why veteran businesses and fans are eating themselves right now. We're becoming the left.
Right.
I mean, we're just eating ourselves at this point. And you talked about, what you've done before is true. A while ago, we had a friend of mine, Ryan, on the show, who wrote Tip of the Spear. And he went on Jocko's podcast to promote his book a little bit. And Jocko talked about one of the firefights we were in over there. And Ryan hit me up, said almost instantly, he had a bunch of veterans.
It didn't happen.
Hey, you're lying. None of this is true. And we had him on the show, and I was like, hey, guys, this is true, because I was standing there. I watched it happen with my own eyes. Like, nope, didn't happen. And, then with the black rifle stuff, we heard he might have voted for Obama. Therefore, nobody drink their coffee anymore.
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to talk about my drinking collection, my coffee collection, nor my type of freedom devices that may have fallen off during a recent boat accident. But it at that point, it's now everyone's trying to slam Coke for what Coke has been, now promoting, or everyone's trying to slam. You don't like Star Wars because it's on like. If you're really getting wrapped around the axle and getting your panties in a bunch over what,
you're going to be average. You're be an average person.
Just to shut up. I'm also not qualified to speak on, I don't know, viruses. I didn't do any political stuff. I know of a little bit political stuff because of what I used to work when I was in PSYOP, but that was the strategic level, the tactical level, the brigade division level, and I didn't really have I was almost like we were talking about the orders that you were given, and you were involved, and you were given the annex to fill out, and you had to knock out your tasks to support the main effort. I didn't sit there and go, well, who did they vote for? Where did they get the money from? Was there actually was it part of the treaty?
Did you hear the PL's gay?
Did you realize? I mean, me and Spanky talk about it all the time. But
Spanky's still here.
Yeah. Me and her will talk about how there's a couple of soldiers right now that were spewing some drama on our radio page and on the main page about transgender soldiers and all this stuff. Well, come to find out, we did some research, and one of them is one of them supervisors. One of the soldiers talking shit. One of their supervisors is trans, and they don't know it. And we kind of like. Okay, you're sitting there, you're sitting there talking shit about trans soldiers. You're sitting there talking shit about, oh, they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't do this. Okay, you keep talking. All right, there we go. And then one of them DM'd me. hey, that's my troop. Hey, blah, blah, blah. And I'm trans. I'm like, oh, dude.
Nice.
And I'm like, well, do you want us to drop dimes on that individual? No, I got it. I'm like, okay, cool. There you go.
Yeah, hey,
Peace out.
I was
Spanky.
gonna hit on that real quick in regards to the messages you guys do. You check a little bit first before you post some, cry for help or some issue that's going on with the unit, or do you just blast it out? I mean, do you know?
No, absolutely. That is more on the main page side of it, but they do have a deconfliction, and we check everything.
Right.
And on our side on the radio, before guests come on, I stalked all of y'all before you guys came on to be a guest, and that is mine and Mom's job. We are cyber stalkers, professional at it, and we're going to make sure you are who you say you are. We want to get messages out.
How was it going through my page? I'm all over the fucking.
Yeah, we
place.
appreciate you two having us on. That was a great time. Absolutely.
Yeah, I gotta tell y'all beforehand, and we do that, and because we do have a lot of guests that might have bullshit, and we don't want bullshit on our station.
Yeah.
But we do want to get messages out, like what y'all are doing, and any nonprofits, like you said, and you can send them my way. If you're a nonprofit,
even for profits too, we like those guys too.
If you're a nonprofit, you can come on. I will set you up a date, or Mom will set you up a date, and tell us all about your mission. You guys have a great mission too, but if you're not a nonprofit, you know what we do. We ask like, okay, well, it's a little tit for tat then.
Right.
And
Yeah, we do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how we run things. It's not like you have to pay to come on. We're not like, oh, it's a commercial or something. No, we don't do that. It's just like a little tit for tat. And like they send us a T-shirt, I'm gonna send that out to like a winner the next time we have a contest, so they'll know about your organization too.
Yeah, I hope Joe's watching, because Joe really dropped the ball on that one when we were supposed to get you all that stuff before our show came on. But, he's a mess. He didn't jump very well either on an airplane, so he had to get out early.
At least he's done a leg. There you go.
Yeah.
How about that?
I struggled in my younger career. And as you grow, understanding like what a steward of the profession is, understanding the difference between culture and climate, right? Because a lot of times you just look into your own box, and you're looking into your own foxhole, and it's like, I don't think like that. Like, that shit doesn't happen, And what I want to get into is that what WTF and your radio station, now that I listened to it sparsely before, because I'm not a tech guy. I like to be outside and do things, but I listen to it a lot now because we're not allowed to do anything. And then I sit in my hot tub and listen to it. But the climate can change instantly. All right. You can change the climate with just one word, but the culture, it takes a long time. Right. And I want to give you guys some props and some praise for WTF, that you're starting to change the culture. And that's kind of what you mentioned, where now you got, the USERX Sergeant Major coming on. All right. Yep. You got these people that are paying attention. I started noticing before I left to go do my broadening assignment, like where it's like we started covering social media in all of our training meetings, and it's like, hey, we better get in touch with this. All right. We better find out where we're going with this. And I love WTF when it came to when I was a first sergeant. Like, one of my battle position got put on there when these guys complained about a hurricane, so I had extra duty to build a bunker. And I was like, but it was actual training. They built a range card and a bunker and all this kind of stuff, and it was extra duty, right? So I had a blast with it. But there's a lot of other times where it's like, yes, and like Kaz said, it's like, this has to change. All right. And we're going to get into it. Like, yes, you have to start paying attention to this. So,
you bring up a good point with that, because that's why I applied. I applied because I was a sitting first sergeant, and I was driving down the road. Not going to say the post, because people always break my balls when I say what post I'm talking about.
Back and brag.
I was on
Hey, they hate us because it's like, sorry.
This is funny because we actually got a comment from Deddy Katona on the briefing, or on the comments, that it said a Marine, a CrossFitter, vegan, paratrooper, and a libertarian walk into a bar. Who's who? Don't worry, they'll tell you. And immediately someone called someone a leg.
I'm honored to be called. I'm honored to be called a libertarian because I do eat meat. I do have freedom of vices, and whatever. But my point being is that's what happened. I was a sitting first sergeant, and I was driving by a kid mowing the fucking lawn in his ASUs, and he was an engineer kid. He was in his ASU's beret, and it's hot summer, and he's mowing it, and dust is everywhere. I was fucking pissed. I was like, the first sergeant that fucking did that shit. Hey, I get trying to get the message home.
You wearing a PT belt?
Well, of course he was. I mean, it was back and back. Of course he was wearing a PT belt. He was wearing a PT belt. He was wearing a PT belt. Had fucking ear protection over his beret, but he was in his ASUs, in his jump boots. And I was like, you know what? You're pretty fucking pathetic for A. It's not like soldiers don't have shit already to do. I don't know if this kid's fucking married. I was just like, fuck this. Main page. I'm like, look at this bullshit. Look at this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whatever. See what fucking happens.
Send it.
It got posted. It got posted, and then everyone was like, whoa, this is bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. And then I was telling some of my first arm buddies, like, look at the fucking posted this.
That's me. I did that shit.
Posted that shit. So yeah, it did. I just think that we like to play hard. We like to say that we're fucking up. Oh, this is the old army. This is the old army. But the motherfuckers that say I wish this was like the old army can't even fucking new army to be back in the old army, or wouldn't be able to handle the old army. You know what I mean? Yep. And I'm thinking, I always make fun of the guys who say, we were just talking about the Fort Hood shit. Literally, we're just talking about the Fort Hood shit. The fucking talking about the snow, the winter storm and shit. And I was just fucking thinking, I was like,
that snow sucks right now.
Yeah. Everyone talks shit about how, back in my day, you soak it up. You just soak it up. You should just soak it up. Cause back in the day, look, you're that fucking big Sarge CSM or first sergeant that has soldiers bring out all their fucking cold weather gear, but you don't let them wear them. You don't let them wear it. And you don't let them wear the fucking fleece jacket as an outer garment, which is completely authorized. And so that's on you. That what makes you think you can fucking old army? You got to fucking,
culture change.
I love that. Hey, Bill. So Pat Broadhead. He's a fister, and we had to set up Area J back at Bragg, right? Like so, it's like it's 5:00 in the morning, and it's chilly out, and it's like, we're the only two out there, and I'm like, nobody's gonna know if we put our fleeces on. Like, I know it's the 82nd, but I like there's probably somebody in the fucking woods watching to see.
There's a Kirkover watching somewhere.
There's a Kirkover watching. Well, so yeah, he's part of this story too. So I'm like, hey, Pat, watch this. So I put on my fleece, and we got Krispy Kreme donuts. Don't eat donuts, So I got a fleece on, Krispy Kreme, and then I put on the Snooki, right? I got this on, and he takes a picture. We put it on Facebook, right? Oh. Within 5 seconds, Kirkover, the Sergeant Major's calling me. What the fuck are you doing? Where are you? And I'm like, I shouldn't have added you as a Facebook friend, I guess. No, but he was, but he was a great Sergeant Major. And we love him to death, and I hope he's enjoying his retirement.
Back in the days when Sergeant Major Thorpe would just pop out of a bush. What are you doing there, boy? Why you walking on our dance?
Yeah, I'm not even in your unit. Get out of here.
Hey, Spanky. So what brought you to WTF? Because you're out here being such a good listener, and we're being we'll do the cancel culture. We'll be in the typical men not letting Spanky speak. So like what drew you to WTF, and give us something.
I want to be honest. The first time I got drew into WTF moments was a call for help. It was a call for assistance. Someone was PCSing, and their vehicle broke down in my hometown. I can't remember exactly what year this was, but it was millions of years ago. So all of my soldiers at the time followed WTF moments, and they kept tagging me like, "Hey, isn't this where you're from? And where you're from is Rapid City, South Dakota." So my brothers actually went over and fixed this guy's truck. There was a water pump. I remember that. So he could carry on to Fort Lewis. So that is what very first brought me to it. And then like I said, on the radio side, that's where I actually applied to work. because I loved what they were doing. I loved the message they were putting out. And as soon as I retired, I was like, okay, I want to be a part of this now. And I applied and they let me come in. So that is how I got started.
So what's the next big thing for you guys? I mean, radio. I know you guys don't have clothing or anything. You just didn't follow that trend, but is there anything like what's the next big thing for WTF? Like, is there anything in the works? Are there any plans, stuff that you can discuss? Or are you just going to kind of roll with what you got right now?
There was a lot of stuff that was supposed to have happened last year. That was the way that the planning was that I was going to be. So the thing is, nobody knew who I was until 2018. I'm sorry, 2019.
You were psyops.
I was hidden. I was pretty much in plain sight.
To the name now,
Yeah, exactly. So 2019, I retired in 2018. 2019 was that we freaking decided to okay, get revealed. Just here you go, freaking. It's time for you to do this. So, bam. We went public. Reason why, like I said before, is that we had individuals that were coming into our space, and it's really hard for somebody to get like official help until okay, well, who are you? And then you kind of lose some credibility without placing a name to a face. That was one of the decisions why I was already retired. I'll say, hey, I'll do it. I'll go public, which of course led on to a ton dumpster fire of crap flying at me because anytime WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments does something, bam. Oh, well, just talk to Ken.
we know that guy. Yeah,
we all fucking. And so that led into other projects that were going to come out as well. So 2018, I was retiring. 2019 was going to be the reveal of the WTF admin because no one had ever been revealed and who it was. There's rumors and stories. I got a ton of fucking. I know who
the SMA.
I know who the
SMA is running.
SMA was part of it. Yeah.
I know the cabal of all these disgruntled E4s. Oh, you do? Yeah. I know. I got the inside. Well, who is it? I can't tell you, but hang on. There's some sergeant majors and there's some colonels, but they've got a bunch of E4. Really? Oh, wow. I didn't fucking know that. Well, who else is in? Who else? Oh man, you get no. I know. I just found out. I know who ICE is. You do? Oh shit. Who is it? All right, it's some fucking W4 CID guy. I think he might be a Green Beret. I don't fucking know, but he's a pilot. It just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then when it was revealed, I lost. I will say it kind of shocked the community, but then it didn't. It was kind of like, well, we fucking duh. We kind of figured it had. I didn't realize that I had such a flavor to it that everyone wouldn't recognize me as ICE, but I guess it is what it is. The page was like, oh wow, then it became the fucking QAnon shit. See, PSYOP runs WTF Nation, and they do all this stuff, and they're just doing this. This is the big, and so they were part of the assault of Area 51, and this is what they want to do. Dude, I'm telling you, man, it is freaking.
Aliens brought COVID.
Exactly, and they all speak Chinese. So so after that, well, then they're like, okay, let's move on to some other projects. So there were film projects. There were episodic events like on Netflix or whatever, because we supported Point Blank from we had Adam Simon. He was one of the writers for Point Blank. It was a remake with the guys from what was his name, Mackie and Frank Grillo. You can see on Netflix. We were part of that digital. We did that digital freaking red carpet event, and the thing is that they were like, okay, great. And then once COVID killed it, then freaking it was. I mean, one of the things I could talk about was we were going to be part of the new Top Gun movie, the new release of it. Man. The release of it, yeah. So we were going to be part of it. We were going to be. It's like, oh God, all the stuff that we're planning to do, and then of course the Rona killed it off. So now it's just. At this point, we're just kind of like, okay, well, let's just sit back one at a time. Let's do this and all that. And let's plan this out. Well, let's go.
Nick and I are movie stars too. Nick and I are movie stars as well.
Well, I'm not technically a movie star because my security clearance didn't allow an IMDb profile.
Yeah,
but I'm getting there. I'm almost listed on the movie.
We will have to come on your show again prior to the movie coming out, and we'll have to bring Sam Medina, the producer, in. It'll
Yeah,
be
it's
great.
Medina, you fucking Italian son of a bitch. Anyway, so yeah.
Medina.
I'm trilingual, so you know I have some issues occasionally. I can't help it.
He likes to eat his quesadillas.
You like some tacos? Because
Oh man.
but yeah,
it
it's insane. A lot of the scheduling, like I said, that didn't happen. But I mean, so then we expanded. So okay, if we're not going to expand in the physical platform, let's increase the size on the digital platform. So then we ended up. That's when the Space Force got stood up, and when Space Force got stood up, bam, we freaking okay. Let's get on that. Well, we need to get some fucking Space Force people. So as soon as we hired a couple of Space Force people, then bam, their Space Com and Space Force hired, bam. And then we decided to do a meme page, and then we decided to do a video page, so a lot of it's growing on digitally to now it's almost like we always make the joke. We're Hydra, we're like like Red Skull says, cut off one head, two shall take his place. Hail Hydra. And he takes a fucking shot glass and you got everybody going, I don't want to do no Sea Hiles attempts and shit. Cause people are going to be like, oh, see, so I told you,
you can't say that.
I told you WTF Nation is part of the big cabal. You watch it. But
yeah. And we keep trying to drive that point home and we don't know how to, I guess we're just gonna have to keep doing it. We're gonna have to just keep hammering it back where it's like Bill started off the conversation with is, build each other up around you. If you're not trying to build each other up and you're finding ways to just hate how somebody else is being successful, it's like, man, we don't got time for you. We don't have time for your negative attitude. Now we're going to accept you because we realize that, everybody's got their character flaws and stuff like that. But what the hell is your problem with anybody who's affiliated with WTF? Have they not proven their track record? Like why does there have to be some kind of conspiracy? And it's like, we have to keep telling people that, hey, we're for profit because we have huge goals to accomplish. And guess what? We don't want to rely on donations, right? Because you're not going to get that much. So that you can get more being for profit is capitalism. Some people hate that shit, right? So
it's almost like you were talking about. What's your beef? What's the beef? What's the issue? Why do you want to hate? Why are you hating on people who want to better themselves? And why do you want to hate on individuals like that?
So you should be doing as a first sergeant?
Who cares? Because you know what? There's specialists out there. There's specialists out there getting the fucking hustle, doing it. Who cares? I mean, there's a guy at he drives around. He drives around in a goddamn Lamborghini because he has his own side hustle going, and he's making really good money at it. So why are we shooting soldiers down like that? Don't be a fucking hater. Yeah. If anything else, the negativity drives me. And then Corey says the same thing. Fucking the hate, the negativity drives me up the damn wall because it's like if a soldier or somebody comes up with something innovative, what is it with Big Sarge that says, no, we don't need it. No, we can't do it. Well, why? No, because it's just not the way it is. Well, where's the policy at? Well, it's just the thing is, I don't like it. Well, I didn't realize that the NCO academies that went up all the way up to USASMA taught us anything any more innovative than that. You're not graduating with a goddamn fucking PMP, or you're not graduating with any, business administration fucking degree. So why are you hating on Joe, who decides to come up with a little app, and then next thing you know, bam, 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 he's making cash. And then next thing you know, he expands his own company, and then they get told, oh, well, you can't freaking do that because it's gonna fuck up his duties. What duties is, if anything else, why don't you ask the guy how to improve the organization? That's why I'm gonna prop it. That's why the 18th Airborne Corps, they came up with this innovation challenge, the Dragon's Lair. I sat on one of them, and holy crap, these are ideas I could totally fucking tell. If you have to have an innovation board, then something's wrong with your leaders. If you're not listening to your subordinates on a good idea that's going to improve the force, then there's something fucking wrong. You can't have this back and forth of, well, I don't like this idea. And then all of a sudden, these same leaders, it was funny is that these same leaders that are saying, I'm so happy that they were able to do this innovation and this is great. This is great for the force, are the same ones that said, why do you need that? You can't do that. That's going to cost money. You got to go through JAG. You got to go through this. You got to go through that. The first one's to fucking hate. So the hate that we get about it is exactly that. Look, don't get mad because we grabbed on some information and we actioned it. And like I said, we don't do the dick pics and the fucking tit memes anymore. But what we do is we fucking talk to the commands and the PAOs and say, hey, this is about ready to hit the wires. You can handle it, or you can have Army Times handle it, or we can help you.
And the negativity gets worse the higher up in rank you go in the military too. You see it. Sergeant majors will cut each other out.
Sergeant major, Bill.
Hey,
Sergeant majors will cut each other
caveat off his shit, Bill.
What's that?
You got a
caveat off of it, yes. And then it would behoove Gruntworks.
There we go. There we go.
So, yes, I should have caveated and piggybacked off of that.
Right.
You see it too. Sergeant majors will cut each other so it's quicker than anything. And we're E9 and V9. There's no E10 for us. So what the hell are we stabbing each other in the back for?
Not the Navy has anything to say about it.
And you see it at the academy too. When that OML comes out, people get vicious. I'm number 9. How come that guy got number 7? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and it's not even the same MOS as you. That's what
find out how he got to number 7.
Yeah. He's like, how come he got to number 9 and I'm number 7? Well, he was a fucking cook, and we really need cooks. Yeah. And do you want to go take that gig to be a cook? Then go right ahead. You know,
you're just very confused about the new promotion system as well.
I love it.
Again, people don't want to read it. That's the problem with ignorance is you don't want to read it. On the bar to re-enlistments for SSD, I was doing that before the Army made it a policy. And I was like, it's really easy. Like, here's your bar this weekend, finish SSD, and then we lift the bar. It's take a month. Take 2 months.
As a matter of fact, I'm not trying to say Sergeant Major of the Army. What was it? Who was before Daly? Chandler. Chandler said
the no tattoo guy.
Yeah. Chandler said that he was going to he was discussing about SS. And that's one thing about the SSD thing that he was sort of kind of correct on, but it's almost like the ACFT rolled out wrong. It was rolled out wrong. I'm just gonna say right now, it was rolled the fuck out wrong. But what he did say was that it'd be best that all of you get this on this, because if it were to become mandatory, and then Sergeant of the Army Daily came in and said, it might be mandatory, you might get on the stick. You might need to get on the stick. Well, I did my SSDs. I'm like, you were able to complete all of them, all the way up to SSD 4 until you hit the academy to do 5 or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, just fucking shoot, click. I was working at a fucking command anyway. So I was like, click. You know, control F, click, you know, control F, you know, and then that was it. That was done. The next thing you know, as a first sergeant or as a detached senior, you know, a master sergeant, I'd be like, oh, okay, you guys knock out SSDs. I'm like thinking, why didn't you guys knock out SSDs? Then it became the fucking joke. Then it became memes.
Right. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Did you hear about that vehicle roller? Did he do his SSDs? What? Don't ask if the soldier's okay. Don't ask if it was wearing, the first thing, was he wearing a helmet, PT belt, and a fucking, was he buckled up? If it was on a motorcycle, forget it. You better have his fucking helmet, reflective belt, reflective vest, high-end boots, full finger length gloves, and it has to have SSDs with the fucking motorcycle safety card level 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a comment on YouTube from Ruben who says, I like that WTF has exposed how toxic USAREC really is. So I know Dave's partially responsible for that because he is in USAREC and he has, become a toxic leader. Now, he obviously wasn't there for the long book of roll. Now, this is a lot longer show than we usually do, but it's fine. It's a great conversation and we'll keep rolling it as long as we're having one. Again, USAREC's not toxic. Okay. The Army's not toxic. All right. Nobody's perfect. The problem is when I was going to put this out in my book of roll, is like when the investigation comes out, like there should be like a fucking board of like, hey, you knew about it. You voiced your opinion about it, that it was wrong. We'll keep you. All right. Here's you knew about it and you fucking tried to do something about it to stop it. We'll promote you. Right. And here's the guy that you knew about it and didn't do shit about it. Bye. All right. And then you knew about it and actually contributed to it.
Oh, man.
Fucking, you're going to jail. So now I'm going to lead you on, Bill. Bill, what do you say the Army needs to do? This is your shit.
I was about to say it.
Yeah.
To fix the Army, we need to find the people that suck and fire them. Oh. We refuse to do that for some reason. Find the people that suck and fire them. But
we all make mistakes when we're younger, man.
How many times have we heard it with NCOERs in the Army? Well, I don't want to hurt his career. No, smash him right the hell out of it.
You
You
know,
also need to define the word toxic.
yeah, I was about to
So
say
widely
because
used nowadays.
exactly,
It is
exactly.
so widely used.
Well, now it's unproductive leadership.
Yeah.
Is the new buzz phrase.
But making a soldier work is not being toxic.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh.
But that's the problem. We are just not firing people. It's that simple. Find the people that are toxic or unproductive, or find the people that just suck and get rid of them. That's simple. But nobody wants to do the paperwork to do it.
And like I talked about earlier, again, we are society. So when you get a young kid like Ice talked about, and you got that Joe level talk, right? Where that's where that E6, who's, we're starting to give them more attention now as being important. All right. So like that E6 needs to come in there and be like, to the team leader, be like, go tell that kid to shut the fuck up. All right. And then I need you to go counsel him on why. He's not in trouble. Right. But go tell him that, hey, I don't care where you grew up. All right. I don't care where you're from. All right. That's not allowed here. We don't say it. All right. We don't laugh about it. We don't do it. Right. Good story we have in the office back at Bragg. Right. So we're sitting here in the office. Dave was in there. Right. And I'm not going to mention any names, but this kid comes in there and he's like, he comes in, he's just gangster as fuck. Right. And Hispanic kid comes in there and he's like, and we're like, and we're being cool. We're like, hey man, what's up? We're not hazing them yet because we were about to, but we're not yet. And we're like, yeah. I mean, hey, this was back in the day when it was cool.
In the day, back at Bragg, little things.
And it's like before we grew up and we realized that we were being fucking idiots, but like, so we go, hey, where are you from? And he says some kind of like 16th Street something, right? None of us know what the fuck he's talking about. But thankfully, my boy, I'll say his name, Flores, is outside of.
Shout out to Flores.
Right? Flores is he's from a very, very bad area growing up. All right, now he's got his master's degree from USC. He's fucking killing it, right? Like he used the Army, got out of gangland, that kind of stuff. And a very quiet, very reserved kid. He knocks on the door, and then we're like, "What's up, Flo?" And he's like, I talk to Sergeant Trent. He's like, Sergeant Trent, can I say something to him in Spanish? I'm like, yeah, man, send it. Fucking, he says something to him. This kid fucking snaps up. Whoo! Fucking, bam, 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 bam. And so and he goes and meets the squad leader and gets trained, right? No hazing whatsoever. But we're like, Flo, what'd you say to him? I told him, I go, you're not from there anymore. You're from the United States Army now. This is your family. These guys are going to take care of you. Work hard for them. And he's like, and then I told him where I was from. And that's when he popped back to parade rest. So I tell that story because that was a growing thing for me where it's like, well, shit, I never thought about that. And again, we could have crushed that kid right away, but we didn't. He's a young kid, didn't know.
That's a good point because due to the fact that you just said that's part of the counseling process. That is part of the mentoring process. It doesn't have to be a fucking immediate crush. It doesn't have to be an immediate fuck that guy, smash him, especially at that junior rank. Because if we're talking about growing in the military, we're talking about growth in mentorship and leadership, then you got to fucking let it happen. If you got something that says somebody fucked up, then you say, hey, dude, you can't say that. That's fucked up. My bad, Sergeant. I didn't know. Blah, blah, blah. Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that from? Well, I got this from that. Well, you ain't supposed to be saying that shit, dude. Anyways, and then get out of my face. And then the next guy, hey man, you didn't know, and he was, are you cool with it? Realize if it bothers you or something like that, do you guys need to hash it out? Do you guys need to talk? No, I'm good. No, did you talk to him? I'm talk to him, and then it's done.
Yep.
And
paperwork. There's no grudge.
Like Carl Whalen said in the comments, not everything has to be put on paper.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And nothing doesn't have to be a grudge.
And hey, I won't say it, but at my first duty station, I learned a lot as a soldier by sweating. That made me a better soldier than anywhere else. I didn't get put on paper. Not everything was an Article 15 or a council statement, but I got really good at push-ups and Little Man in the Woods, if you remember those days.
Yep.
Find the gopher.
Yeah.
Overhead arm flaps.
All kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. And so, it's just nothing. It doesn't have to go on paper, but again, today's society, it's almost like you have to write it down for them, and it's not even a negative counseling. It's event oriented. Like it's like, hey, you said this. right? And let's get into why. Now, you don't have to write it down. But the Army, again, the Army that is not racist, the Army that is not sexist, gives you this tool and this platform to do it. It's like, whether you put it on the paper or not, fine, but they break it down for you. And it's like, this is the first thing you talk about, what happened, right? This is the second thing you talk about, how are we going to fix it, right? Like, and then here's the third thing, how's the leader going to do something about it, right? Like, so it really drives me nuts that people don't understand when they try to blame the military. It's like, motherfucker, look in your own backyard. It's like, that's the cultural norm that the military has already made policies to get rid of.
You're not going to follow the policy and then shut up about shit not happening. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And they're there. They're all there. A lot of the programs and resources that are out there, leaders just don't know about it, and they just think that's it. That's you know. Yeah. The first person I called when I was a first sergeant was the IG, because hey, what's legal? Can I do this? Can I do that? Am I supposed to do this? You know, can you do that? And they're like, no, you can't. You know.
I've never been part of a sharp complaint that I don't know about, but I've been part of multiple EOs as a first sergeant, and you know,
you would, Nick, you would.
But again, like they all came back unfounded, but I still learned something. So that process is there, that system is there to being like, fuck, dude, I pissed that kid off. And it's like, I didn't realize that I got to that. And then I had some good sergeant majors that were like, yeah, see, because you're not a team leader anymore, man. He's like, you got to realize how much what you say, the weight it carries and where it goes, where it can go to, you know, and it's like, put somebody in the middle of that, you know, a lot of good growing and mentorship. And it's like, so I do want to give a plug tomorrow. Again, watch Leah's show.
Shout out to Leah.
All right. Leah's got a pretty fiery guest on, which kind of goes with what's happening right now on social media. And again, it fits into that line of just how many comments I've seen already of the victim focused culture, right? To where it's like, well, what the hell was she doing that for? And it's like, man, my value is already sunk. I have an iceberg there. I don't even fucking listen to you, right? Yeah, the guest that she has on did some stupid shit in the Army, and she got in trouble for it, right? But what happened to her, if you even try to fucking put cause and effect, right, you're a dumb fucking person. Right? I'm going to call you a dumb fucking person.
You know, I want to be honest with you, man, and me and Spanky talk about this a lot. And as a dude, I'm gonna shut the fuck up when a woman has to deal with issues when it comes to dealing with issues in the military. There are women that are dealing with this shit, and I'm not qualified. I'm not equipped. I'm not the woman. I can't fucking speak for, you know. And Spanky will tell you all the time that's the biggest argument that I always tell people, and I get hate in the inbox for. Oh, you're just fucking just saying that because you're. No, I'm just fucking saying because I'm not a fucking.
Nobody can speak on anybody else's story, and that's why I think Leah's show is so important. Everybody can tell their own side.
Right, and we want to blow that show up, and it's going to happen. But again, what I talked about in the YouTube thread is the shit that's on there is so uncomfortable for people to listen to, and I put it on the thread. It's a cultural norm. It is to where it's like I just want to blame her because I don't like listening to it. I got to find some way to justify this happening, even though it didn't happen to you, right?
Right,
like
and it has to listen to, but it needs to be listened to. Like Ice knows, I hate that subject. I try to stay away from it, and that's I have my own reasons for it. But I do support Leah and what she's doing, and anybody that is a survivor, let them go on and tell their story. I can't be that one yet. Maybe one day I will, but it's not for me yet.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that stigma that we're trying to defeat as VTT to where, hey, let's get out and talk about it. Let's get it out. Let's get it out to the community that's going to support you. And, you know, we're going to, like I said, man, God, please somebody try to say something dumb. Like, you know, it's like, it just drives me nuts. But again, you have to be rational to where that's how they're taught growing up. It's taught to be like, well, she deserved it. Why did she join the military? Like these are real comments by a big big percentage of the population. So it's not like we can just be like, oh, they're all dumb. But they are all dumb, but they're just not educated on it. They don't understand how the veteran community, when it's done right, with all the policies in place and all the education in place, when it's done right, we are the strongest community on the planet. Like, there is nothing that we can't accomplish because we will freaking die for each other. There's lots of families that won't die for each other, right? Like, I don't even know you personally, Ice and Spanky, but if you got a fucking problem, I'm going to do the best I can to help it, right?
Oh,
and it's like, and I'm going to tell you if I can or can't. I'll just be honest with you, like, I can't help you there, but I might know somebody that can. And so we really appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Absolutely
Freaking phenomenal talk.
Thanks.
You guys can come on anytime. So we got to let Dave do his thing because this is the only reason he's here in his beautiful backyard in Arizona. The face man has to close us out.
Blue eyes. Look at this.
Yeah, beautiful man right there. Look at him. Women, he's not single.
Should I do it in Italian or should I do it in German?
Oh, he wants to brag a little bit now. So
I'm just saying.
Do it however you want to do it, man.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So close us out, Dave.
I was gonna let Ice close us out, actually.
Let Ice close us out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we can have Spanky close us out too, because
Oh,
Oh
go
my
ahead.
God. Ice could do it. Ice is on point for this.
What? I mean, I can, as far as, I mean, I just like the fact that we're able to come together like this and kind of network more than just being outliers and just shit talking each other without having the sack to talk to each other. You know what I mean? That veteran empowerment is what we're all about. All of us, your mission and our mission is veteran empowerment. And we can talk about Gruntworks, we can talk about, VTT, we can talk about WTF Nation Radio and WTF Moments. Our mission is the same. In the end, your time in the military is just finite. And after that, when you get out, there are individuals out there, including, all of us right here, that are going to get out and are going to miss that. There's going to be that brotherhood, sisterhood, camaraderie that we're going to miss. Like you were just saying earlier, we're all going to we need each other's back. We won't die. Think about it, that we will rather die for a bunch of strangers than some members of our own family when it comes to that shit. You know what I mean? So our mission, veteran empowerment, that's what it's all about. Kind of like, raising each other up to say, hey, look, VTT's knocking it out of the park, doing their thing. And I got no problem saying that. I got no problem with it. And if they want to drink fucking Black Rifle coffee or Stone Mill coffee or Cafe Bustelo was my preference, then go right ahead. All props to them. Let's prop them up. That's what it's all about. Veteran empowerment and making sure that we're all taking care of each other and mentoring each other. Because sometimes the mentorship doesn't have to be out in the open. Like you were saying earlier, man, a Mad Russian said the same thing. It's just sometimes this shit doesn't have to be on paper. Sometimes it could just be behind, hey, mentorship. And then that's it. No grudge being held. Hey, let's knock it out. Let's fist bump and let's go kill it. So.
And purchase the button.
Let me break it down, Barney.
And purchase the button. Thanks again for having
us.
And
purchase Gruntworks shirts and Black Rifle coffee. Buy it all. Blow us all the veterans
up. Great
Thanks
show.
for coming out, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Ventura Training and Athletics. Restore, train.